Welcome back, everybody, to the channel, and welcome back to another video. This one's actually really special because two major things have happened. One, this is Hardcore Mode on Bedrock Edition's birthday. Hardcore Mode came out on Bedrock Edition last year on October 22nd. And another big thing is I made my official Season 1 Hardcore World, the one that I'm in right now, on the official date that they added it. So as of today, my Hardcore World is officially a year old on Bedrock Edition. And I'm going to be giving you guys the world tour today. But before we get into that, I have to mention a couple key things. One, you're probably going to notice that my day counter, even though it's over 1,000, may be relatively low for a world that's over a year old at this point. And I'm going to get into that. And there's another couple factors. This world may not be as built up or as impressive as some other year-long worlds. And that is because I was working 7 days a week, 7 12-hour shifts every week for the first 6 months, like the first half of my world, because like I have an actual job. I just do this as a hobby. And that really affected my free time and my ability to play in my world a lot. So it's not going to be as built up or impressive as some other worlds. But the things that I have been working on, I've been putting in a lot of passion and detail work into, and I'm going to show it off to you guys today. So, yeah, let's commence the tour. So, over here, this is the enchant table setup. I recently added these in. I got the dripping pale vines, or the pale moss vines, rather. This is my enchant table setup. I got all kinds of decorations. I got the Ender Dragon Egg, the blue orchid from Swamp Biomes. I got the pottery shards from the Trial Chambers. I got the Pillager banner, the water bottle, and netherwork, because this is where I brew at. I got my enchant table with all the bookshelves. They're like stacked designs. They're different levels. I got Lady. I got Tramp. It's a reference to Lady and the Tramp, the two Siamese cats. Come over here. I got Calico Jack. I got Chad, the chicken. I got my cherry tree bushes with the saplings to make it look like they're in a pot. I really like the design there. I got a whole interior decorated. This is Luna, the trader llama. I started on the second floor, but I'll go to the bottom floor and then I'll make my way up. We got Boots. We got Snowball. We got Siberia, Ant, Fiona. We got Real Chicken number 1, Real Chicken number 2. They hang out under the door. I got all my animals named. I got a decorative armor set with full silence trim with the amethyst material holding a trident. I got another one of those little cherry tree bushes. Another thing as well. There are supposed to be a lot of paintings in this house. However, there's currently a glitch on Bedrock Edition that makes it to where paintings just sometimes just straight disappear out of existence from your builds. I don't know why. They still haven't fixed it, so I can't put the paintings back up. And for some reason, only some of them, like the two that you see behind my head, stay up, which I don't like. But there's supposed to be essentially paintings on all these walls, like above the door and stuff, but they just keep disappearing. Oh yeah, we got this because it's hardcore mode. Imagine dying on like the most useless item in a hardcore playthrough. We got the hardcore heart on the floor and the carpet. We got a second doorway there. We got our shelves down here too with another brewing stand. We got the yeah, for some reason this painting also doesn't disappear. The lodestone tucked up in there. That's how I found my house. And then basically the whole interior. We got the couches over here. I got the dried gas in the corner. I got lots of mob heads in here. I got a cake right here. Like I said, there's supposed to be paintings, but it doesn't look as good as it's supposed to. I got the bell. Again, another painting that just hasn't disappeared. Another mob head. In here, actually, also, by the way, this is just for decorations, like potion brewing ingredients, because it's like the potion area and enchant area. It's got another bookshelf area, like carpets on top. Got these banners right here over the 3 entryways to the room. This is the trial chamber study room. I got to go get an ominous key to put it next to that one. I got cool details in here, like the arrow showing how breeze rods are converted into wind charges, the music disc. I got like old trial chamber maps, the clock. Right here is a really good detail that I really didn't need to do. I also got the 2 armor trims. These are actually the level of potion that it says it is, so that's actually a level 1 ominous bottle, and then it says level 2, like, and so on and so on. Like, I actually put the corresponding level that it says it is. You won't notice that unless you actually take it out and look at it. See, it says Bad Omen, and then this one says Bad Omen 2, and then it just goes so on and so on. I just like cool details like that. Got the heavy core, yes, as decoration. The sculpt sensor, we got Garfield, we got Winslow, Tom. Up here, this is the attic area and storage. I got another armor set. This is like a steampunk copper-looking armor set. This is going to be a fully decked out copper armor set with the resin bricks, because as you can see, it's going to look absolutely swag, dude. It's going to look awesome. Got another bell up here. I got the amethyst shards scattered around with the blue soul lanterns, and once again, the moss to make it look like cobwebs and stuff. Got my other dried gas right here. Got the totem as decoration. Just got random things in this chest. All the chests are named. We got our food and our bone meal. We got our potion supplies. We got our stone blocks, our building blocks, our wood blocks. Everything is corresponding and labeled. I got another helmet right here and boots. This helmet right here is actually cool because if I put it on, it looks like a hardcore heart on the back of my head, which is really cool. I call this one Thinking Cap. And then those are my Gucci slides. It's what I named them, but I got a full netherite. Oh, wait, that's not the right helmet. There we go. As I was saying, I got a full set of netherite trim armor because it looks, it's basically just a flex. And it also looks like a tuxedo, which is really, really cool. I got my Helm of Hades, the suit, the shirt, the suit, the pants, the bedrock breakers. And while I'm here, I might as well just give you guys a full ender chest tour as well. This is supposed to go in here, Ancient City Gear, the Skull Harvester. I got Wilson. He just hangs out in here as like a castaway reference. Scaffolding that I used to build with. I got my build locations, overworld exploration, potion supplies, Ancient City Gear, food, elytra ammo, just spare storage, empty shulkers. I have another shulker box that's at my Ocean Monument build that I'm working on. We'll get to that later. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the inside of the house. It's nighttime, actually. I can show you guys the outside at nighttime right now, which is actually perfect. And I got to show you guys the outside of the house as well. So out here already, you could tell. So if you go to my channel and go to the live tab and you go back like 11 months ago, well, 12 months ago now. But if you look back, you will see in the third ever live stream of this world, I found this island. It was a barren wasteland. It was a flat, snowy island in the middle of a frozen river. And I decided, let's bring some life back to this place. And that's what I did, and that's where my main settlement is at. None of this was here. All it was sand and snow. The whole island looked like this. It was barren with nothing at all. Everything that you see here, including the wall, was built by me on the island. And right here, you might not even be able to notice this detail in the wall. Most of the time you can't, but since it's nighttime, you possibly will be able to. I used dark oak for the bottom and then spruce for the top, and I like blended it with like gradient. And I made it look like it was wet and rotted, like the wood in the bottom was older and it was like more exposed to moisture and it was more weathered than the wood on top, which is why I used this two different shades. I'm going to add these on all the jungle trees eventually. I'm still not done with this build. I've been doing it for like a year straight. I'm eventually going to replace all the sand and snow with moss like you saw over there. So this area is still under construction. It's probably going to be under construction until I die and lose this world, to be honest. I'm probably going to be constantly changing all of my builds in this world. But yeah, I've been digging up the snow so I can spread the moss on all the grassy parts that already exist. I got all the trees planted. I got the moss spread. I'm going to get rid of that 3x3 frozen area of water too. But yeah, I've got my egg farm right here. It cranks me out about 6 stacks of eggs every time I play. That might not sound like a lot, but that's actually insane. How is there an Enderman in here? I've never had an Enderman in here. They should not be allowed to teleport in here. I should take care of him, shouldn't I? Sorry, buddy, but I don't want you picking up any of my blocks. It's nothing personal. I really don't want him messing my shit up. But anyway, I didn't even show you guys the front of the house. So this is the very front of the house. I got the bamboo everywhere. I got the overhanging roofs, the circular glass windows. I got the ledges over the window frames with the lanterns. I got all 3 lantern types here too. I got the new copper lanterns on my jack-o'-lanterns because they look sick. I think it matches really well. Also, green's my favorite color. That's another reason why that's my new favorite light source in the game. And then we got the blue lanterns in the middle, the yellow lanterns on the top. Obviously, I don't have to explain every single little thing because you guys can observe and take in everything for yourselves as you will. But like I said, I've been starting to spread the moss across this whole island. It will eventually cover the whole island and make it look more lush and nice. Over here, we got the first watchtower. And I'll show you guys that right now. Oh, and for some reason, I can't put trap doors. Oh, wait. Yeah, I can. Oh, my God. They fixed it. Okay, so trap doors back here were pure black. They didn't have a texture. It was like a pure black block. And I was going to fill in this and detail it as well because I put it over here to make it look like a textured scaffolding on the tower. But I realize now I can do that back there, and I probably will too. But again, there's supposed to be paintings in here, so it looks kind of bare and bland. So there's that. I'm upset. There's supposed to be a painting there, a painting there, a painting there, a painting there, and a small painting there above the bed. And of course, none of them are here. But this is the interior. It's, like I said, not done until they fix the painting glitch. I got the lantern up there, the e-chest, the furnace crafting table, the classic Minecraft setup, the green carpet. And while I'm up here, I might as well walk around and give you guys the tour of the wall. It's pretty much the same all the way around. It's got the copper lanterns lit up, so nothing can spawn up here because stuff was spawning up here. And I wanted to wait until they added the Copper Age update to get access to the lanterns to light up this because I didn't want to have to go through and change it all. Oh, and that's my nether portal too. I can show you guys that while I'm here. That's my nether portal. I made it a little bit tall with like the chains holding the lanterns, the vines draping down the front, the gold block on top, and then the wood platform that you stand on. So yeah, the wall is pretty much the same. Oh, and also the slabs, so spiders can't crawl up in here, of course. But for so I guess Enderman, even though I've never had an Enderman teleport in here over the last that's literally the first time that's happened to me. Over the last 1,000 days I play this world. But oh, that doesn't work. That is supposed to be a creeper farm that did not work. We got to fix that. So I'm not even going to bother showing you that mess because it's a broken farm that I'm tearing down that doesn't work. But yeah, like I said, the wall is pretty much the same all the way around. Oh, this coming up right here, I'm really proud of this. I think this is really, really cool. So let me go back a little bit. I made an ice Japanese themed gateway for my front entrance, and I thought it turned out pretty nice. I used all three types of ice. I used packed ice for the supports where it's attached to the frame of the gate, and then I used blue ice for the frame because, you know, obviously. And then I used regular clear ice for the top to give it like a clean finish. And then the gate doors themselves are like really detailed. I had to put this here to stop mobs from walking in. But this is the design of the doors. It's supposed to be like big wooden castle doors. These right here are supposed to be like door hinges, the cobblestone. And I added the firefly bushes around here, of course. So you can see there's a lot of sand that I got to replace with grass and stuff. But I take you around all sides of the house. It pretty much looks the same all the way around with the orange ring, with the jack-o'-lanterns, with the green copper lanterns. What? There we go. But, yeah. Oh, there's Terrence! I've been looking for you! Terrence! He's supposed to be in our house. This is our little buddy that I put in the house, but copper golems can open up doors. Obviously, I found it out the hard way because he's out here. But this is Terrence. He's like my little buddy that I hang out with in my house, but obviously, like I said, he's not in the house right now. We need to get him back in there. I'll lure him back in there with a copper chest or something later. We got a nice little fire pit to sit around. We got the logs to sit on with the lanterns on them. We got the crafting table with the smithing table set up. We got the barrels here for decoration. We got the lumber yard. There's supposed to be a stone cutter right here to mimic a saw. That's like cutting the logs, but I'm using it for another build right now. I really should just make multiple of them, huh? I used hay blocks to make it look like they're straps holding down the logs instead of minecart rails because I wanted to switch it up and make it look better. I think this is a better option, personally, because it looks like there are actually straps holding the logs down. Over here is the outside gazebo. Here's the interior. It's a nice little chair area with a fireplace to make it look like you can cook food over it. Again, with the logs to sit on. It's got a whole floor. Over here, there are two granite pathways. The one that leads to the gazebo, and then the one that goes down here that leads to the igloo that's tucked away. So yeah, this is the igloo, and then the whole interior of the igloo is done. We got our snow golem in here. I forgot to name him. I'm supposed to name him Jack Frost, obviously. But we got the two paintings in here. It's not supposed to be an over-the-top interior. It's supposed to be just like a comfy little setup. It's supposed to be a normal igloo in Minecraft, but like upgraded just a little bit. Of course, that also means the redstone torches so it doesn't melt. Got the blue carpet in here. And then we got the spruce forest side. Over there we have jungle trees. And then over here we have spruce trees. Like I said, I already showed you the nether portal. And I'm sure you saw that when I looked up. We'll get to that in just a second. Here's the little tent. I need to give it an interior like a bed and a crafting table and stuff. It leads to the gazebo. And then you can come out this side right here to get to the main area. And then over here is the second watchtower. I originally was going to make it just like the other one with like the bed and stuff, like the exact same interior. But I realized that I needed a way to get nether wart so I don't have to go to a nether fortress every time. So I made this a little nether wart farm with like a greenhouse looking design. And I really like the way it turned out. I think I chose the right painting for this and I just duplicated it on each side. I really think it fits it really well. The front, this one's kind of bland. There's not really supposed to be any paintings or nothing on this one because, like I said, it's just a standard greenhouse for nether wart. And if I go down, that pretty much covers everything on ground level. Oh, almost everything. So this was this was what made me want to start replacing the ground with moss and stuff. It also blends really well into the front of my house right there. I really like the way the moss and stuff makes the front of my house look. Also, having this guy out front of my house is really cool too. We got Gucci Leather Zombone because he's in copper. He's not in leather, he's in copper, which is really cool. I just thought it was a funny name. We got him in his little exhibit right here under the giant red mushroom. We got the little mushrooms right here, and I'm going to eventually cover the moss floor with these everywhere. We got the little mushrooms made from mushroom blocks and birch fences to act like the stems. We got our ferns and flowers on the ground and stuff too. The firefly bushes, those will be everywhere. And that pretty much covers everything on the ground level. However, if I look up, I'm sure you've been noticing something. There are a couple islands that we need to get into real quick. So, and you'll notice I just got maxed out beacon stats as well. We'll get into that as well. So this is the first floating island. Oh my gosh. There are animals. Give me a second. I did not know animals could spawn up here, guys. I am going to need just a second to do something. Hopefully they don't walk off here and... I'm calling them sky sheep. I don't care. I'm name tagging them, and I'm sticking them up here forever. They can just hang out up here on the birch forest ring. Hey, guys, how's it going? I did not know sheep could spawn up here. Sky sheep. Don't push each other off, please. Sky sheep. They're officially a part of the world now. They're just going to hang out up here forever now. That's so cool. We're adding new additions to the world as the tour goes on. This is great. Oh, and it's snowing. Oh no, I hate the snow. It ruins the vibe of this place, but it makes this part look awesome because the birch trees. But this is the floating island ring. I added the vines only on in the interior though to make it look like they're dripping down to ground level. It goes all the way around. I added the wild flowers, which are found in normal birch forest biomes. I added the end rods, which light it up. The firefly bushes up here, of course. And this is the second island right here, which is the floating amethyst geode island. I fell off. I completely missed that. I'm trying to stand in here so you guys can see how awesome it is. There we go. So yeah, this is a floating geode island. I had to sit here and farm these crystals for a long time, like 20 Minecraft days, and I still have more of them in my chest to build with because when I sat there farming all these amethyst crystals, I thought to myself, I'm not going to want to come back here for a while. So I literally sat there for several hours and manually farmed all these amethyst crystals. And you know what? I think it was worth it. This is how the geode part looks. It's actually got all three layers to the geode, the basalt, the calcite, and the amethyst, just to go all in with the detail. And then I'll show you guys the top of the island as well, because it's actually even cooler looking. It's got a nice, sweet, chill vibe to it. Check this place out. It's just a cozy little cherry tree forest, a little mini floating cherry grove with the flowers, the pink petals, the firefly bushes. It actually looks really good with the pink particles and the snow. And down here is the other floating thing that I built. This is not an island. This is actually a giant floating flower pot. And I used podzol to make it look like potting soil, and I added the petals from both the wildflower and the cherry tree biome. And I put the shroom lights on it to make it look like glowing fruit that's growing on this particular cherry tree. And then over here, I didn't even need to build this. This is like a personal little fun project that I'm just working on because I'm a How to Train Your Dragon fan. And if you've ever seen How to Train Your Dragon, you'll know what the Burke dragon hanger is. And if I go right here, you can actually see it starting to take shape. This is going to be essentially like a fan-made inspired copy of the dragon hanger on Burke from How to Train Your Dragon. And once I get this done, I'll decorate the whole interior and stuff and everything. Maybe build one of the dragons on top of it. That would be pretty cool. There's a creeper on top of there, so I'm going to fly away and despawn that guy and get out of here before he blows something up. So over here, this is the main island right here. It's got the full maxed out 6-tuple beacon on top. All the beams are colored in the rainbow colors. Right next to each other, I got green and blue and orange because that's me. That's my little brother. That's one of our best friends. His favorite, and those are our favorite colors. I'm green. My brother's blue. Our friend is orange. And we got the cherry tree bed up here. Of course, the end rods, the firefly bushes. And if I go underneath right here, if I get a good angle, I made it look like the glowstone, or not the glowstone. Yeah, the glowstone was dripping down and had bright tips, like it was a plant of some sort, and it was underneath of the island, and it was dripping down and glowing and everything, which I thought was really nice. Of course, we got the Happy Gast. He helped my little buddy right here. He's like oh, sorry, I had to burp. This guy right here and Elytra are, in my opinion, the two most useful features that have ever been added into this game, simply for building purposes alone. Without this guy, I probably never would have been able to build all these islands that you guys see right here. And I'm going to use the Happy Ghasts to build more islands in the future for sure. And right here, we got this island right here that he's tied up to make sure he doesn't wander off into the sky. These right here don't serve any other purpose other than decoration. This one right here, along with the smaller ones down there and underneath of it, they're supposed to make it look like there are pieces that are crumbling and falling and drifting off of the main island up there with the beacon. You can see right here, I got another one right here underneath of this one. And then I got another small piece of land broken off from this one right here. So it's supposed to mimic and look like that it's breaking off into several pieces and drifting downwards slowly. And that pretty much concludes the first build. Like I said, I've been putting a lot of effort into this one. That's another reason why some of the other things that I've been doing in this world aren't as up to date as they should be, because I've been putting a lot of work into this one because it's my main homestead. And we'll quickly go to sleep real quick, and then we'll move on to the second build. So if I actually do this, build locations, there we go. Put these in here, Mighty Monument. I'll need that here soon. I'm actually going to keep this. Oh yeah, second monument build. That's not an actual build. The only purpose that this serves is because I found a spot where I'm going to do another ocean monument build, and I just want to have the location marked so I don't ever lose it. Nether Hub, I don't actually have the Nether Hub built yet. That's just a named compass, a pre-named compass, because I do have my lodestone at my nether portal in the nether. Old West Town, which is the next stop on the list. I really, really like the way that this project I'm about to show you guys is coming along. And before we go to Old West Town, we'll need to stop at another place that I've got built and going on. Everything in this world is pretty much going to constantly be a work in progress. Nothing will ever truly be finished. Like, for example, there's probably going to be at least 30 more floating sky islands around, like, the whole area. Like, there's going to be chunks of floating ice in this area. Like, this whole world is going to, like, constantly be changing. Like, there's no set finish date on any of my projects, if that makes sense. And over here, this is the crop farm that I've got going on. And I actually recently started construction on this. So it's only halfway done, but it's basically just going to be a repeat of some of the other crops that I've got going on. But yeah, this is the floating platform. I've got my farming items. I just got the clock right here to tell what time it is. The milk bucket, because I got my cow tied up down there. This is what I use to farm with. I got my pumpkins. Let me just go down here so you guys get a better look. So I've got the pumpkins, the wheat, the sugarcane, the beetroot, the carrots, the potatoes, and then I got to add more crops to it. You can see I've already got the areas dug out and ready to go. And now I can go to Old West Town, which, again, is a work in progress because it actually did not start out as an old western town. And I'll tell you guys what I mean once we get there. But there's just so much more left to do in this world. I've got like 100 different projects lined up in my head. That's if this world doesn't ever corrupt from the world file size being too big. I really hope that that doesn't happen because I put a lot of, this is like probably the furthest I've gotten in a long time, and this is probably the most amount of work I've put into a world, if I'm being honest. So it would sure be a shame to see it go. And also, to my knowledge, I don't know if this is actually true or not. I have done several different variations in terms of Googling this. I've tried 20 different sentences that are related to this, but I can't actually find any records of anybody surviving for a year in hardcore, at least not on console. I'm playing on PlayStation 5 with a keyboard and mouse. So take with that what you will, but at least on PlayStation wise, I can't find anybody who's survived a year in a hardcore world. Well, maybe that's because hardcore mode isn't even a year old until as of today, but you get what I'm saying. But it would be really cool if I was the first one to survive a year in a bedrock hardcore world. So we got the glass art right here on the top. It's supposed to be a Minecraft bee. This is the first glass and only glass art in the world currently. We're definitely going to do more because I like the way that this turned out. And I'm sure I'm going to get way better over time, of course. But right here, this is Old West Town, and a little story behind this town. So this location, this build, is actually inspired by a Fortnite location, like a Fortnite landing location from the OG map in Fortnite. It's from the desert area. It's called Old Westworld or Old Weston. It has a lot of different names, but it's the small old western town. It's like kind of Mexican Day of the Dead style themed. That's like around the area where Paradise Palms is. If you've ever played Fortnite, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But this little town that I'm building is a direct reference to Old Weston from Fortnite. And it's not finished yet because this right here is my bee farm. And this whole town, this whole little miniature town, it's actually almost done because I only have to do this side of the town. Like that whole side is done over there, but I only need to do one more side. But none of the interiors are done. This is actually the house that is most recent in terms of working on. It's got 3 different colors. It's got the green, the blue, the red. It's like 3 houses in one. But the exterior of all these houses, oh, by the way, the whole ground around and inside of the town will be covered by this grass, the dead bushes, the cactuses and stuff. The whole town will be decorated and stuff. You'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, none of these interiors are done because, like, the town itself isn't done yet. This interior actually is done. This is one of the houses that is done. It's got the colored candles everywhere. It's got the old-fashioned interior. It's got the sunroof area. It's got the kitchen, the pots, the table, the jukebox. It's not meant to be too decorated. It's just meant to look like a Mexican Day of the Dead style town. And then, like I said, pretty much all the ones that are built have the exteriors done. This, I would say, is the only mostly built interior. We got the beekeeper's house up here. We got all the chests. They're labeled honey bottles, honeycomb, more honeycomb, bottles, shears. And I'll give you guys the full tour of the bee farm itself. So this, actually, let me show you the front. This is supposed to look like mesh, like chicken coop wiring, if that makes sense. But it's supposed to be like pink and vibrant and stuff. But it's supposed to be like an entrance where air flows, and it's supposed to be like mesh fibering with like the holes in the trap doors and stuff and the door itself. This is the design of the bee farm itself. I chose bamboo blocks because I thought it was the best block to blend with the beehives to make it look like giant honeycombs that the bees are living in. We got the cherry tree at the center. This is the Old West Town lodestone. And I didn't even need to build the town around the bee farm. I could have just built the bee farm, planted moss around the perimeter, and then planted some trees, and that would have been enough. That was the original idea. But then I was like, nah, I want to make the build a little bit bigger and better and stuff. How is there... That was a creeper. We're just going to go out that door whenever we leave. But yeah, I added all kinds of different flowers in here. The pink petals, obviously, because there's a giant cherry tree in here. Obviously, the bees themselves, the bees, like, obviously they gather me honey, but they're just a vibe to hang out with inside of this glass dome in and of itself. The way they just buzz around with the sound effects and, like, you know, they're just a vibe. I like them. They're like cozy little friendly companions. They allow you to get honey, which allows you to build with copper blocks and stuff. I just think bees are really useful, so I just wanted to make a farm for them. It's also how we're getting all the copper for the dragon hangar back at Fort Berg. So that was Old West Town. Over here, actually, this isn't really anything important. I mean, it kind of is, but not in terms of, like, the world tour. But over here, I don't know if this is the right village or not. I hope it is. It is. It is the right village. Okay. So this is eventually where I'm going to take all this town, this village is where I'm going to eventually get all the villagers from to do my villager trading hall build, which is going to be massive. It's going to be like a church, it's going to be like a church capitol building with like all the villagers lined up inside with like a whole mini villager town around it. So that's going to be a whole mega project on its own. We pretty much got all the villagers in this town in their little glass observatories, safe and sound, nice and safe and secure. Nothing can happen to them. This is also where I do my raids until I build my raid and emerald farm. Oh, speaking of raids and emeralds, so we got to pause the tour because there's an important personal rule. I don't need to do this. I do this because I want to. And I'll get into that. I'll get into what I'm talking about in just a second. So let me just stand on top of these hay bale blocks for a second. So as you all know, there is a common argument in Minecraft that totems of Undying either need a nerf or they shouldn't be obtainable in hardcore mode, which I actually agree with. I am 100% on board with that argument. I am on that side of the argument because they're just too overpowered. So this is inspired by another hardcore player. He's actually got the longest existing hardcore world right now, 50,000 days. You probably know him. His name's Linksy. In Linksy's hardcore world, he has a own personal rule involving totems that he has set for himself. And I have used this rule in every world that I've ever played in, pretty much. If I use or pop a totem of Undying, I must sacrifice a enchanted golden apple and 4 other select items. I gotta change. Excuse me, I don't know what I ate. I'm so sorry. I apologize. But as I was saying, I need to sacrifice an enchanted golden apple along with 4 other items that I haven't decided yet. I'm changing the 3 other items. I don't know why I said 4. But I have to change the other 3 items alongside the god apple because I want to actually make it harder. I thought it was too easy. But anyway, I have to, and I haven't even built the altar yet. I have to build an altar with a cauldron of lava in my world. And when I use a totem of Undying, I have to sacrifice an enchanted apple with 3 other specific items to a cauldron of lava, which means I basically have to burn a notch apple before I allow myself to use another totem. It's nighttime also, so I'll sleep real quick. But I essentially have to burn a notch apple and waste a notch apple in terms of a own custom ritual, which allows me to essentially buy totems in my world uh, as like an own custom rule. That's my way of nerfing totems. Like I said, it's inspired by Linksy. And actually, there's a little something special about that. Because I have that own set specific rule, I play so safe to where I act like I don't even have this totem in my hand. And I changed the name of this totem in my hand before I started the world tour. Some of you are not going to believe me. That's totally fine. I guess you'll just believe me when I pop the first totem and make it into a video showing me doing the sacrifice ritual with the notch apple. Like, you'll see me burn the notch apple, so you'll believe me then. But I have not used a single totem of undying in this world. This is go back. You can go back and look at the live streams that I've done a couple months ago on this world. The very first totem that I obtained in this world is the very same totem that I hold right now. 1 year, no totems of undyings, not a single pop, not a single usage of a single totem in this world. And I think that that is absolutely awesome. I want to try to make it the whole lifespan of my world, which my goal is 5 years. So if I actually survive 5 years, I want to make it to where I go 5 years without popping a single totem. If I do it, it'll be insane. Do I expect to do it? Absolutely not. I 100% to pop a totem. I 100% expect to pop a totem at some point in time before I reach 5 years. That's if my world file doesn't even corrupt or anything. But with that being said, minor detour from the world. I just had to explain the rule behind totems and stuff like that in my world before, we finish that off. So now we'll move on to the final project, and this is the current project. I put everything else on hold because this one is actually really special to me. And I don't talk about it too much because it gets me all choked up and I don't want to cry on video and stuff like that. So basically, this ocean monument build that I'm about to go to is dedicated to a very important person that passed away from me. And that's another reason why this world isn't as impressive, is because I was dealing with a very big loss and grieving, and I wasn't really gaming much at a certain point in my life. So I was going through that. That's all I'm going to say. Like, if you guys want to be nibshits, then pardon my language, but first of all, uh, respectfully, fuck you. It's none of your business. You don't need to know about it. But that's all. Again, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's just not your business. So I'm not going to talk about it too much because I don't like to. But there was a very special, important person in my life that passed away, and I'm dedicating this build to that person, and I've put everything else on hold. It's why Old West Town isn't finished. It's why I haven't added all those sky islands around Fort Berg like I said I would. It's why my crop farm isn't finished, is because I've been pouring so much time and effort. Every single time that I've logged onto this world, I have flown over here and placed sand and gravel blocks for hours on end every time just to try to get this build done as fast as possible. I was really hoping that I was going to get it done before the world tour, but there's just no way. This build is just so important to me. There are so many details that I have to add that, in all honesty, it's never going to be done. The same thing, like I said, for all the projects in my world. There will never be a set finish line for any of them in reality. Like, I'll probably always be updating them. And just to make sure real quick that I don't lose my 1 year totem streak on something stupid like my elytra breaking, I'm going to land and then switch them out. Yes, I carry multiple pairs of elytra. I am a very, very cautious player. Like I said, I play as if I'm not even holding a totem, because if I use this totem, excuse me, I keep burping. I'm so sorry. But like I said, if I use this totem, I have to burn and waste a notch apple in my ritual that I have to essentially buy another totem, which I'm not all for. So, I'm not a huge fan of that. Where is my other elytra? It's in this one, right? Yeah, there it is. But yeah, So everything in this world is going to be put on hold until I finish Mighty Monument. And Mighty Monument is stage 1 of 3 of this mega build. So this is going to be 2 mega builds in one, and it's going to be compiled of 3 stages. Stage 1 is we drain the ocean monument and completely redesign it. And once we get the ocean monument build done, then we gotta redesign the village island, like completely remodel and redesign the village island that spawned next to the monument. And then we move on to phase 3, which is the second mega build inside of the mega build. And that is going to be called Sky Kingdom. And it is inspired by Thilza's Sky City from his Season 2 world. It's going to be a massive sky island above Mighty Monument with a huge castle on it. And then it's going to have several other, and when I say several other, I mean probably like 20 to 30 other sky islands sprinkled and scattered around it. And it's going to be called Sky Kingdom, which is going to make up the third and final part of this build. So over there, you'll see our little perimeter. I don't know why there's a pig out here. He's not name tagged. I don't think that this pig somehow winded up in the middle of the ocean, and he's been here for like 200 Minecraft days. I don't know, man. I can't explain everything that's going on in this world, even though I play in it almost every day. I can't explain it, man. But the reason why I chose this ocean monument right here, even though it's so far away from my base, because you saw I just had to fly here from quite a far away, is because look at this village island. It is a perfectly generated island with a village on it. It's perfect. And that's my little base I got going on right there to work on the monument, is on top of this house. And this is my other shulker box that's supposed to be under just ocean monument gear. My water breathing potions, my sponge blocks. I don't have any right now because they're all in here drying out. And I got my milk buckets because, mining fatigue when I go to other ocean monuments. I got this right here because I've been hollowing out the interior of the monument. I've been doing some interior design before I even finish draining it. Kind of just proves how disorganized my schedule is. It's probably not a good thing. But now we move on to the actual monument itself. And like I said, it's not even done yet. It's coming along really well, though. The drain. And this is really special because, as you'll know, when somebody does an ocean monument drain, they always go for like the basic circle, right? But I decided I want to change that. I want to go for something different. So instead of just a circle, I designed my perimeter in the shape of a flower petal. It's also another reason why I haven't gotten this done as quick as I like to. But, like I said, I think it's really unique and it's something different than what everyone else goes for. And the drain itself, as you can see, it's actually coming along great. You can see I've got like I've actually started to expose the monument itself. This is the current part that I'm draining. So the monument itself is actually almost fully exposed, which is really cool. It's almost halfway done, as you can see. If I swim down here, the guardians are going to be a pain in my rear end, but it's okay. But down here, I've had my conduit so I can breathe, obviously. And then I've got my full beacon, which gives me my resistance and regeneration, because again, guardians, they're annoying. And oh, this is what I meant, by the way. This is another reason why I wanted to come down here. So I basically replaced the whole front of the monument. I had to do this, by the way, before it even drained. Ow. That's why we have the beacon, because you can see there they basically, oh my God. So I'm not going, we're just going to swim in this far corner. How many is that? That's like 30, guys. I'm sorry. I can't deal with that many fish freaks right now. I can't do it. That is too many guardians for me to feel comfortable with, even with a beacon with regen and resistance. That's it. Focus on the squid. But I changed the front parts to glass because when I build the monument, I want to have it to where they're like observatory looking areas with like a garden on this side, my bedroom and stuff in this side with like my decorations and stuff. Basically, I'm doing some interior and exterior decorating before I complete the drain. As you can see here, I started to hollow out a lot of this in here. You can see that. And basically the whole monument. What are you doing, dude? Get out of here. I don't even have my sword. Look what you did. Look what you did. Now I'm mad. Can you stop hitting me? You're doing nothing. Ow, this really hurts. Guys, I don't know what I'm ever gonna do. This just hurts so bad. I'm in so much pain. It's unbelievable. I don't know how I'm gonna survive. Oh God, I'm dying. I'm actively dying as we speak. Die. All right. Anyways, so that pretty much concludes the world tour. Like I keep saying, even though this world is a year old, and if you don't believe me about that, go back and look at the live streams in the live tab. When I created this world, it was like 12 months ago now, October 22nd. Oh, actually, it says it came out on October 24th. That's because when I recorded the VOD on the 22nd, YouTube had to analyze it first and then upload it for some reason. So that's why there's a delay, like a 2-day delay on this. But I promise I made my world on the 22nd. I promise. But that pretty much concludes the world tour. Like I said, I know it's not as impressive as some other people's worlds, but I've had a lot of key factors that have interfered with the grind and play time in this world, like real life things that I've been dealing with, especially. But things are starting to smoothen out and improve. And I've had a lot more free time actually with this. So within the next year, I'm going to have all the current projects that I just showed you done, as well as probably way more too. And as long as the world doesn't corrupt, this world is going to continue to thrive and look absolutely awesome. So join me if you would like to. If you thought this world tour was interesting, I hope you did. I know I've been inactive a lot lately, but like I said, a lot of real life factors that had a lot to do with it. If you did enjoy this world tour, though, stick around where we hopefully end up having the longest lasting Bedrock Edition hardcore world. And I hope to see you all in the near future as the years go by and we continue to build and grow in this world. So I'll give you guys an update when I finish Mighty Monument. I'm probably going to take a while in between uploads from now on because I'm probably just going to give similar style uploads like this, like update style videos and build update tours and like world tours and stuff like that. But I think that's like the better option for me because like that just seems more of what I'm into. If I get enough popularity, I'll start live streaming and stuff too, obviously, but I got to get enough recognition for that. I can't live stream to only have like 1 to 3 viewers, if that makes sense. So I'll stop rambling. I'm sorry, I'm rambling on. I'm a little nervous too because like this is a big deal for me. I just like can't believe I actually made it this long on Bedrock without encountering as many issues as I did. And you know, I will see you guys in the next one where we hopefully survive for a second year. Obviously, I'm not going to wait a whole nother year. I'm going to give you guys an update whenever I finish Mighty Monument and give you the build tour of this place and stuff. So I will see you guys the next time, hopefully within the next month when Mighty Monument is finished. And I hope you enjoyed. And I really hope to see you all again in the upcoming future. And yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed, and peace out.